Hey guys, Mike here from Lunch Money Comics. It's finally flea market season back here in New England, and I'm at the biggest one of all. I am at Brimfield Flea Market in Brimfield, Massachusetts. I've had a lot of good luck here in the past. This place is absolutely massive, so let's walk around this huge flea market and find some comic books. So this really is one of the biggest flea markets in the world, and that's a problem for me because I collect a lot more than comic books, and I tend to spend a lot of lunch money when I go to Brimfield. Well, I'm trying to be frugal, and I set myself a very strict spending limit. So yeah, I'm trying to find comic books, but I need to find them at Lunch Money Comics prices if I want to come in under budget. And here I am at my first stop every single time, which is Jeff from Michigan with a truck full of comic books. Let's go see what he's got. And here he is. Jeff, how was your drive?
It was long.
It was long, all the way from Michigan.
15 hours, Mike.
15 hours.
Yeah.
But you texted me and you told me you had some good stuff this time.
Yes, I got silver, gold, and a lot of pulps.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
So less comic books, but better comic books,
Yes,
right?
yes.
All right, point me the right direction.
Right over here.
All right. And this is the box of good stuff. Great strength of covers. Smith. Yeah. I do like these Aquamans. For our people. First, Desaad. It's actually pretty good shape. It's good condition. Not really a key, but it's a...
Yeah, that's better condition stuff there.
Pretty sharp. That's a great cover. Nice. That's cool. Maybe there you go, first Kilowog.
Yeah, so there's anti-war and there's like some greeting cards too, like Christmas cards, and you open it up and it says LBJ stop the war.
That's always a cool cover. Oh, these are pretty cool too. First is, oh, that's cool. I love these.
17 is
There's a Nick Cardy cover right there. I love these.
not into Aquaman.
No, that's a neat one. have that one. That's a cool one. Combination. Classic Cap versus Panther. It's a reprint, X-Men reprint. Dormammu. It's first MODOK. Alright, let me peek in this box here. Is that a Nick Cardy cover? It might be. He has a lot of Star Wars toys. Yeah, so these carded figures are actually pretty cool, even though some of them are loose. But this one's fun because this is actually Zuckuss, the bounty hunter, but they mislabeled it Forlom, which is his droid companion. But I'm a fan of Zuckuss. This is pretty cool. First, Mr. Sinister. In really bad shape. Yeah, maybe we can do it as a toss-in. Wow, so many pulps. It's crazy. I don't know a ton about pulps, other than I like the covers. It's crazy. Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, brother. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, that was a pretty good first stop. You know, he didn't have the volume of comic books he's had in the past. He's been cleaned out quite a bit, but he had a ton of great pulps, and I did find some comic books worth picking up, but the day has just begun.
Glasses.
Oh, cool.
Let's see. So 13 of
A whole bunch of these Werewolf by Nights. The big ones are missing, but still really cool. And the Frankensteins are really neat, actually. And I love this cover. What do we have in here, Carl? Oh, better stuff?
150, all of them.
Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
John
but,
Romita. First.
Cap 100's cool.
I'm throwing in another.
I didn't introduce my hunting buddy today. This is Dave from Bell City Comics. Comic collector, toy collector extraordinaire.
We're gonna just try to find some good deals and some Star Wars toys.
Star Wars toys. There's plenty of them here. Hey, right in front of us, actually. There you go. Star Wars toys everywhere. Oh, there you go. More down here. More modern ones. Oh, some are older.
$350 for the lot.
350 for the lot.
I'm doing more.
I haven't seen that before. How's the condition? Some are pretty good.
It's tough to keep in good condition.
Yeah.
They have the Star Wars one on good.
It's a nice looking one. I think he's gonna break it up though.
Yeah, you said $15 a pick. Are you breaking the lot up? Oh no, gotcha.
No, I let him rip.
They're really neat to look at. But
Right now it
It
is.
is a very popular one.
condition.
Yeah.
Pretty nice condition too.
I mean, I had my 2 surgeries. My 2 surgeries. But I still,
Doc Ock and Lex Luthor team up.
I can't walk.
Oh, look at that. There are comic books. All right, let's start digging. That's cool. And you know the prices on these are never the price that you end up paying, so keep that in mind. That's cool. It's a minor key issue. Great. Bummer. All right, here we have a whole bunch of Betty Page. A little risque for lunch money comics. Oh, we have some Elvira. It's actually less risque. Oh, look at that. Silver Age X-Men hiding back here. Not in great shape, though. There you go, first Changeling. Man, these are all over the place. A lot of Iron Man. Oh, some Star Wars. Gonna tell Dave about the Star Wars comics. See, some of the good ones are in there. It's a decent one. Yeah, they're not in numerical order, so I gotta go through every single one of them. Oh, that's it. Look at that. Dave has the eyes of an eagle. He spotted these from pretty far away. Let's check them out.
How you doing?
Gentlemen, how we doing?
Hey, how's it going? So let me jump in here with a quick voiceover. Large comic collections like this are actually quite common at Brimfield and at flea markets in general, and something they all tend to have in common, they're full of comics that people generally don't want. In fact, this vendor was joking that not only are these really hard to move financially, they're hard to move physically as well, and he actually regretted buying the collection in the first place.
Just gotta move it. I made a mistake by buying it all. I didn't know how easy it is to move.
All right, this vendor here has lots of really cool stuff, and they often have comic books. I just gotta find where they are. These are all in the sun, though. All right, that's a cool book. First Yoda. These are the modern comic reprints, which is too bad.
I saw the Empire Strikes Back on the other side.
Awesome. Metal Return of the Jedi. That's cool. I remember these. I'm dating myself. Mostly the plastic ones. That's what I had as a kid.
Metal ones.
You had the metal.
So I'm dating myself even more.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. Look at this. Superman 2 lunchbox, the latches. 1980. That's wicked neat, huh? That's great.
Disney comics. Again, which I don't know about.
We have up here, it's like classics. Yeah, these are all classics illustrated.
Justice League from the 80s.
Westerns. You get some Justice League. Wow, these are tight. I can't even get them in there. Ugh. There you go. We have some more some Superman. There you go. Oh, there's my boy. That's my boy. Too bad I don't have 10 of those already. All right, let's check out this field here. This is massive. It goes all the way back, and I have found comic books in this area in the past. Had some pretty good luck, actually, so let's see if we have luck now. All right, what you find, Dave?
A lot of Dell comics.
Yep. A lot of westerns.
Disney. A lot of beat up.
Oh yeah, wow.
Archie's. Richie Rich.
Some older books here, but yeah, really bad condition. You can find anything at Brimfield. Dave, can you fit this in the car? And look what Dave found while I was chatting with a vendor. He found 1 and 2 Treasury edition of Star Wars. Nice. That's right. Also reminds me of where things are if I miss them. I can go back and be like, oh yeah, I wanted to buy that, you know? What was the price of that? What are the prices on all these? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. I want that. All right, a few more to add to the comic box, which is completely full at this point. And I'm worried this won't get damaged, so I'll be very careful. Hey, look at that, we have Scare Glow. Let's check this aisle. I know whose booth this is, actually. There you go. We have comics. We have Nightcrawler comics. Wars 2. All right, this is worth taking a few minutes to search. Hey.
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I knew whose booth this was as soon as this.
I mean, I keep it the same every time.
Yeah.
Same.
You get the same spot too. Yeah.
Right. Just different part.
That's always a great cover. Nice. I like that. Read. This is a cool looking booth here with a ton of toys, including superheroes. Wow.
I just want to look at it. Oh
I
yeah.
have one of those in my collection. I have one of these in my collection. I mean, I have them, but because Voltron is so awesome.
All right, Dave got some more Star Wars. And did you buy a gigantic Star Wars collection yesterday?
Yes.
Okay, so you
Tell
need
my
more.
wife can take it up.
Can you even fit it in your bag?
Won't be able to fit that in the bag.
I'll help you. I'll help you carry it. It's
Yeah.
fine. Dave, are you tapped out yet?
I'm tapped out.
You're tapped out.
Yep. Well, just short.
Well, I'm close to my stop time, and I pretty much hit my budget already. But there's a few more vendors I want to check out. Might be some last-second deals. All right, I gotta go see my buddy Doug from yesterday's paper. What's this amazing stuff? Hey, Doug.
Mike, how are you, buddy?
Come on, buddy.
Nice to see
Good to
you.
see you. Yeah. You get new stuff?
I got some new things. Although I've watched your shows and all the stuff you've been getting and places you're going.
So much stuff.
Yeah, I mean, wow. I mean, you really.
I don't need more of it, but you know, I'm here again anyways looking, so. Oh yeah, I remember these from last time, yep. All right, let's dig in here. We have some Golden Age, Mismatch. Yep, lots of Disney. I like the crimes. These are cool. Atomic Bunny. cool. Oh yeah, love the Captain Marvels. Some ASM, it's pretty low grade. Avengers, just want to go through these quick, get an idea what's in here. Some Fantastic Fours.
There was another comic book series. But you have a pen? Yeah. 45.
DC here. Here we have Batman. It's a fun cover. Here we have Green Lantern. Doug is also a big Neil Adams fan, like I am, so he has a lot. I had this book as a kid. I think I traded it. Joker. Second Mr. Freeze. Really poor shape though.
It's there in the bank. I just didn't bring it up.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be here all week.
All right.
So I've had good luck in this field in the past. It tends to be smaller vendors, but they tend to be cheaper. And I've found all sorts of good stuff. Comic books, vintage toys, even comic character statues. So you never know. And of course, while I'm busy filming, Dave is actually looking for comic books here. Cool. Wow, 1944 and 1941. That's actually a crazy comic. What do you,
Nice one.
Yeah, what do you have on these guys here?
8 on that one.
So we need to pause the video to talk about these two comics because they may have been the deal of the day had Dave or I actually bought them. So both of these comics were from the early 1940s, both graded CGC 5.5s. The vendor was asking $300 for the Smash Comics and $800 for the Major Victory Comics #1. Now, neither Dave or I actually knew anything about these comics, so we tried looking them up online to figure out their value. And quite honestly, we couldn't find much. The most intriguing one, however, was the Major Victory Comics #1 because we did see someone trying to sell one on eBay, a graded 4.5, lower than this one, for almost $3,000. Now, granted, that's asking price on eBay, and that doesn't mean much, but it was intriguing enough for us to consider it. However, we were both out of money, and quite frankly, we didn't know enough about these to spend that kind of cash. But let us know down in the comments if you know anything more about these comic books, and do you think that was a good price? Keeping in mind, we probably could have got them for even less than that. And that's completely normal. All right, guys, I've only been here for, 5 hours, and I'm pretty exhausted. I did manage to more or less sort of keep to my budget on the day, and I did that by only seeing half this flea market. It is massive. You can't see the whole thing unless you want to get heat stroke. Still, I'm pretty happy with what I got. Let's go back to the house, show you guys everything I found. So there you go, guys. I just got back from the always awesome and absolutely massive Brimfield Flea Market, which by any metric is one of the biggest flea markets in the world. It's actually multiple flea markets. Each one of those fields is sort of independently operated. They open up on different days of the week. They have different vendors depending on the time that you're there. So it really is like a big box of chocolates for any collector. And that's why it's so dangerous for me, because I collect a lot more than comics. I collect antiques and a lot of other things. And if you collect something, guys, you can find it at Brimfield. And because I tend to spend a little bit of money out of my lunch money comics wallet, this time, trying to be frugal, I set a pretty firm limit on myself of $200. That's nothing for Brimfield, by the way. A lot of big spenders go to this flea market, but how did I do? I did really well. I came in well under $200. In that last clip, I was sort of on the fence whether I hit it or not. That's because my math was bad, but also I was factoring in parking and gas, and I also got a bite to eat. Those are expenses. I'm not counting that. But the comic books themselves, and look, I got a pretty good haul. I came in well under my budget. I'm pretty proud of myself, and I think I got some fantastic value for what I paid for these. So, first, a huge shout out to my hunting buddy, Dave. Dave is not only a massive comic collector, he's an even bigger toy collector, especially Star Wars toys. It was great palling around with him, having him educate me on all the cool vintage toys that we saw. Guys, even as it is, you need a hunting partner a lot of times. It really makes it easier. It's such a massive place. I saw less than half of the flea market this time. In the footage you saw, I cut most of what I actually filmed. It's ginormous. So maybe I'll get to go back before the end of the week if the weather's good. But I don't care, guys. For now, I ended up with a pretty good haul that I'm happy with. Before I show you what I got, if you want to support the channel, go down, hit that like button. It helps out the algorithm. And follow me on Instagram under lunchmoneycomics@g. Let's go through my Brimfield comic book haul. So I'm going to go through this stack of comics relatively quickly, starting with the cheaper books and then working my way up to what I think were the best deals of the day. And these first three I got from a local vendor named Brian. I know him because he goes to a lot of the same haunts as I do, same flea markets, same estate sales. He sets up at Brimfield often. He had a ton of comic books, mostly 90s stuff. I certainly didn't go through all of them, but I found 3 books I wanted, especially for the price. First up, we have this one. This is X-Men number 24. It's a great Andy Kubert cover of the Lovebirds, Rogue and Gambit, one of the more notable couples in comic books. And of course, they're married in the comics. As an X-Men fan, guys, I love this comic. I love this cover. Had to pick it up. And the other two are both Alex Ross timeless variants. So Alex Ross, very famous comic book painter. He does portraits. Well, he did a couple of series, heroes and villains in Marvel Comics, where they were variants. And here's one of Reed Richards and Tony Stark Iron Man. I thought they were pretty cool. I think these are really neat, guys. When I find them for a good price, I get them, and I got all 3 of these for $5 total. I think that's a great deal for these. So this next comic book is one I have owned in the past and subsequently gave away. It's this. This is Star Wars number 41. Not only is this part of the adaptation of Empire Strikes Back, not only is it a great Millennium Falcon cover, it's the first appearance of Yoda. Yeah, I actually first found one of these last year at an indoor flea market, and then I found out one of my friends needed it to finish his Star Wars run, so I gifted it to him. It's too bad. I really like this book, but I was happy to give it to him, of course, but I'm really happy I found another copy. The thing is, the vendor I got this from, they're always set up at Brimfield, and I don't love their prices. They're a little high, and they really don't like to negotiate, so I was worried I couldn't get this for a good price. I got it for 12 bucks, which I think is pretty reasonable based off of, the condition it's in. So there you go, guys. First, Yoda. Man, so these next 2 comic books, guys, I almost missed them, and I'm really happy I didn't. I got them from a vendor I'd never seen before. I was talking with him, found out he was here all the way from Oregon. Really cool guy, had great stuff. Dave got 2 Star Wars Treasury editions from him. But yeah, as I'm walking out, I look down, and I see a comic box on the ground full of comic books. And they weren't in the best shape, but the price was right, and I found 2 books that are absolutely fantastic for the price. Man, I love this first one. It's this. This is The House of Secrets number 88 from 1970. Not only is this some great early 70s DC horror, it has a painted cover by Neil Adams, one of my all-time favorites. Look at this cover, guys. It's awesome. It's evocative. You get that gothic horror thing going on. Absolutely fantastic. And I got it for a great price by bundling it with this one. So this is a Golden Age comic. This is Atom Age Combat number 2 from 1952. Now, I've often spoke about this. I do like war comics, but I especially love them if they have to do with the atomic age and show like atom bombs. Well, there's no atom bomb on here. However, it's still right up there in the title. It's a great presenting book. It does have some issues. It has some chipping right here on the top and in the corner. In fact, a little piece came off when I was rebagging it. That was a bummer. But otherwise, it's in good shape. Tight staples. It's complete. And it presents really great. And here's the best part. I got both of these for $15 total. 15 bucks total, guys, for an early 70s Neil Adams horror and a Golden Age war comic. Come on. Absolutely awesome. So these next comic books I got from another local vendor that I know. He sells at a lot of local flea markets, both outdoor and indoor. He sells at a lot of consignment shops. He often does have comic books. I haven't seen him in a while, but he had plenty of comic books this time, including some really, really good ones. I think Dave got the best books from him, but I'm pretty happy with what I got, although I'm not sure about the price. We'll talk about that in a second. So I got 5 books from him. Here's the first one. This is The Monster of Frankenstein number 2 from 1973. So this is the second issue of Marvel's Frankenstein. This one, though, is the first appearance of the Bride of Frankenstein, and it has some amazing art by Mike Ploog. I think people love Mike Ploog's horror style. So great looking book. Incidentally, this is another book I've owned in the past and gave to a friend. In this case, I gave it to Brandon of Mon Comics, so I'm happy to get a replacement copy. Great. The other 4 are all Marvel comics. from the Silver Age, and they're pretty neat. Not only are they cool comic books, but they're in great condition. So the first two are Tales of Suspense. The first one's this one here. This is Tales of Suspense number 67. This has some awesome Jack Kirby cover art right here. And then the other one is number 85. This is from 1967, Gene Colan cover. Now, these aren't key issues, so to speak, but they're in pretty decent shape for their age, and they're just great covers. But these next two were really the reason I wanted these books, because these ones are definitely exceptional. So yeah, they are two Tales to Astonish, both featuring Submariner and the Hulk. The first one right here is number 72, 1965. And this is actually Stanley Jack Kirby. And the other one here is from 1967. This is Stanley and Dan Adkins did the art here. Both of these are in fabulous shape. A little bit of Marvel chipping on the top of this one. But guys, these are some pretty sharp looking books. Now, how much did I pay for all of these? Well, the first price he gave me was way off from what I wanted. I think he said 100. I was hoping to get these for 50. We split the difference, got them for 75, which means they were $15 each. I think that's a good price, guys. Honestly, not really a flea market price. I try to go a little cheaper than that. But after I looked at them, after I paid for them, I thought, even though, you know, these ones aren't key issues, I thought the condition was good enough. I think that's a pretty good price, you know, and yeah, I don't mind adding these to my collection for that price. Let me know if you think that was a good deal for these 5 comics, $75. So, last but certainly not least, we have Jeff from Michigan with the yellow moving truck. He's been on my channel many times. Every time I go to Brimfield, he's the guy with what I call the comic book truck, because the first couple times I met him, his truck was full to the brim with comic books. Absolutely everywhere, just fantastic digging. And over the years, you know, he's always had a lot of comics. Well, this time, he didn't have nearly as much. He's pretty much sold most of all of those comic books, but he did have some new stuff. He had a ton of pulps. Tons of pulps. Actually, most of them were in pretty good shape. Most of them were war-related, and they were cool, but I'm not really into pulps. I do like looking at them. But he also had a couple of boxes of new stuff. So, I have a pretty good mix here of cheap and nicer, but wait till I tell you the price I got all these for. So let's start with 2 comic books that were actually loose, unbagged, unboarded, and this first one is in terrible shape. Yeah, this is Uncanny X-Men number 221. This is known as the first full appearance of Mr. Sinister, iconic blue cover. This is in bad shape. It was just laying there. This was all folded. I kind of unfolded it there. This looks like a mouse might have bit it. And when I got home and rebagged it, it looks like there might be a little bit of mold. That's always fun, but this was basically a free throw-in. It's in really bad shape. I don't mind another Mr. Sinister. I don't care how bad a shape it is. It's a cool book. The other one was loose, but it was actually in pretty good shape. It's this, Marvel Comics Presents Wolverine number 1. So these Marvel Comics Presents mostly feature Wolverine early on. And yeah, this is a great cover by my close personal friend, Walt Simonson. I joke, I met him a couple times. Walt Simonson did this cover. It's a cool book. Again, both of these were pretty much toss-ins. Next up, I love this comic book. This is Supervillain Team Up number 1. It's from 1975, John Buscema art. And this is a series that teamed up supervillains. In this case, it was Dr. Doom and Namor the Submariner. Yeah, Namor's sort of an anti-hero. He goes back and forth between being a villain and a good guy. In this, they're calling him a supervillain. Yeah, and they're going up against Tiger Shark and Atuma right there. So I like this, right? It's a cool Doom cover. If you like Namor too, it's not a bad book. There you go. Happy to get that one. This is pretty cool. This is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, number 2. It's from 1977. This is a Herb Trimpe cover. And yeah, I like these Godzillas. I've actually found a Godzilla number 1 at a flea market before. Never owned number 2. And what's really fun about this title, guys, is later on, he goes up against like Marvel superheroes, like the Avengers and Spider-Man and stuff. So those are fun reads. There you go. Godzilla number 2. I thought it was worth picking up. This one, I know nothing about this book. This is Journey into Mystery Volume 2, number 2 from 1972. Awesome Gil Kane cover. Multiple stories in here. I just like the cover. The Tale of Mounting Menace by Robert Bloch, author of Psycho, featuring Jack the Ripper. I just thought it was really cool, very evocative, and it's actually in pretty good shape. Actually, he has it written on the back, high mid-grade. Yeah, I'd call it that. Pretty cool. This is just a silly one, guys. This is X-Men 97, number 3, more modern comic book, but the reason I picked it up is because it's a variant featuring Jubilee, done by Greg and Tim Hildebrandt from Marvel Masterpieces Series 3. Yeah, I love those Marvel Masterpieces. You know, Greg and Tim Hildebrandt are legends, and hey, I like the X-Men. Cool Jubilee cover. Had to pick it up. Next up, Madame Xanadu #1. This is a one-shot from 1981 featuring Madame Xanadu, who first appeared in Doorway into Nightmare. And I like Madame Xanadu because of her role on the Justice League Dark. I like this book. I already own this book. This is definitely better shape than the one I own. All right, guys. He had several Nick Cardy, late 60s, early 70s Aquaman. I've talked about on my channel in the past. I really like Nick Cardy. I love his work on DC. His other books were priced a little higher, and I didn't really want to pay that. But this one is a low-grade one, and it's sort of one of those homage covers, right? So this is issue number 37. It's from 1968. Once again, Nick Cardy. This does have a minor claim to fame. It's the first appearance of the Scavenger, who is sort of a villain who is a deep-sea diver and a pirate. Yeah, I don't really know much about the Scavenger or how much he shows up after this, but he is in it. But I like this because this is that iconic one person holding another person, right? You see it with Batman and Robin. You see it with Superman and Supergirl. You see it with Cyclops and Jean Grey. Very similar here with Aquaman and Mera. So pretty cool. I thought it was neat and worth picking up. So this next one might be the most interesting and perhaps rarest find I had on the day. I always say, guys, if you ever see something you've never seen before and you can get it cheap, it's worth picking up because it might be something special. And that might be the case here. It's this. Yeah, this is really interesting, right? It's a smaller format comic. It's, of course, The Amazing Spider-Man, but I didn't know what it was, especially when I read the bottom. It says Shan Lawn Distribution, a special MPI audio edition. So I thought maybe this came with like a cassette tape or like a CD or something like that. Well, evidently this is from 1990, and this was a giveaway promo to accompany an MPI audio edition, basically kind of like a read-along, right, of the comic book. They did this for several other comics at that time. And this is actually a reprint of Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 23, which is sort of the retelling of the origin of Spider-Man. This has a cool Alex Soviet cover. And yeah, I looked online, guys, and it goes for a little bit of money. Yeah, it's a rarer book, especially for, ASM collectors. A lot of people have never seen this before, especially if it was sort of a giveaway promo. I saw prices of this going anywhere from like $20 to $50 for really nice ones online. Neither me nor Jeff knew what it was, guys. I just threw it in the pile and happy to find something interesting, and certainly it's something unique in my collection. Never seen this before. Let me know down in the comments if you've ever seen this before, or any of the other titles by this company. Very cool. So these last two comics, I love them both, and it might surprise you to hear they're both DC comics. Yeah, Mike the Marvel Collector has two DC comics here. I'm pretty happy about. Jeff had actually put aside like a nicer box of comics for, the comic collectors that specifically seek him out when he goes to Brimfield. And he had a lot of books in there that I like, but these are the two I ended up with. And this first one just makes me laugh. This is so cool. This is Detective Comics number 377. It's from 1968. Murphy Anderson cover. And this is just a great Silver Age Riddler cover. How cool is this, right? You have Robin with the Riddler mocking Batman. And he's saying, thanks to the Riddler, you're behind bars where you belong, Batman. I just see this and I picture a little kid seeing this, like on the rack in 1968, wondering what the heck is going on. I love it. And again, Murphy Anderson is a staple of DC, comic covers back then. Not a key issue per se, just great cover. But the last one absolutely is a key issue. Another book I've owned in the past and traded away. Happy to get this one back. Here you go. This is the Green Lantern Corps number 201. It's from 1986. And this is the first appearance of the Green Lantern, Kilowog, a very powerful Green Lantern, incredibly smart and, of course, incredibly strong. He's actually been in the one Green Lantern movie that came out, played by Michael Clark Duncan, actually did the voiceover. But yeah, Kilowog's a very cool character, and he's been in a lot of great Green Lantern stories. Again, I've owned this book in the past, traded it away. I wanted it back in my collection. Well, here it is. It's a white cover. This book is often stained, and there's a little bit of discoloration down the bottom, but I'm nitpicking. It's a pretty sharp copy, guys, for a white book that was in a flea market. So I think the condition of this is great. First Kilowog, guys. Once again, you get a price of like $35 on it. So how much did I get all of these books from Jeff? Well, I've known Jeff for years. I pointed a lot of people his way, and he always looks out for me when I put together a stack of comics. He sold me all of these for $60. $60 for all of these, guys. I think that is a fantastic deal. A lot of these are absolute keepers that are going into my collection. Some of them go into the trade box. Some of them are going to be gifts for friends. Either way, guys, I think this is a great deal for $60. Let me know down in the comments if you think so. And I can't wait to see you, Jeff, this summer. Jeff told me, by the way, when he comes back to Brimfield in July, he even has more stuff that he wants to show me he said I'll like. So talk about a teaser. Stay tuned, guys, for the summer edition of Brimfield. So there you go, guys. That was my first Brimfield Flea Market of the year. I set myself a budget of $200, and I got all of these for $167. So I definitely came in under budget, and I think I got a great deal, but don't take my word for it. Head on down to the comments, sound off down below, and let me know if you think I got a good deal and which of my pickups is your favorite. I got some goodies here, guys. I definitely got some real keys. I got a pretty neat, rare find, I think. Definitely one that was not expected, and a couple of absolutely awesome books that I almost missed. So many good books in here, guys. I don't even know which one is my favorite, to be honest. You let me know which one is your favorite. And that is it, guys. In the meantime, keep hunting for comic books in strange and unusual places like gigantic flea markets. Definitely stay tuned for more flea market videos throughout the course of the summer, guys. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.